This is SR-71 Blackbird with the Knights of the Old Dragoons. You're listening to the Escape Pod cast on the Escape Pod Castaways network. This show is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast. Neil.
Sorry, there isn't much news this week.
Weren't we supposed to have an ocean of content?
Climate change, mate.
Well, we could still entertain in a drought. I got some ideas.
I finally saw the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh man, this is gonna be good.
Oh, I also heard Biscuit Weazel is doing a new series.
Yes, we sit down and talk to him about the new series.
Plus, we are expanding the streaming schedule.
And yes, we will go over that as well and much more right here on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
And welcome to another episode of the Escape Podcast. I'm your host, Neil Andrew Eyre, and to this direction, I got it right, is my co-host, Paul Anthony. Say hello to everyone, Paul.
Hello, and for some reason right now, I'm frozen. I don't know what's going on. My internet connection sucks. I apologize, but welcome to the Escape Pod Cast. Neil, what's going on with you lately?
Not too much. I mean, there's not much going on with the game, to be perfectly honest, when you think about it. I mean, we are 3 days away from, GAC 5, so I imagine maybe the next 24, 48 hours they might drop a couple of marquees that they want, people to wail on. But whether they do or whether... They usually drop something. CG usually drops something before a GAC. Maybe not necessarily the beginning. Sometimes but they always drop something before the beginning of a phase, so that they can, make the money. But apart from that, no, nothing going on in the game. Just been chatting with people, finding out how things are going. I mean, lots of New Year, new content out there. People doing top 10s, top 100s, best lists. But that's all people can do at the moment. There's so little. There's so little going on with the game. People are like doing their top 10 Zetas or worst 10 Zetas or top 10 characters.
You told me to go find a picture of crickets. Yeah. So I found that's the wrong cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the wrong cricket. That's not the boring cricket. That's the good cricket.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah,
that's what you wanted. You wanted me to find a picture of a cricket for how quiet it's been.
Yes. Well, I mean, it just has. It's been I mean, I've never seen it this quiet before. I really, really haven't. I thought CG would want to, start 2020 off with, a bang. But, they've started 2020 off with a whimper, really. I mean, there's been nothing since the Q&A. Like, nothing at all since the Q&A. So, I'm not quite sure what to expect, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with my with everything. As far as the movement and all Zoom, that,
your
doing
end
my
of Zoom
best
is kind of your end of Zoom is kind of slow at the moment, mate.
Yeah, I'm checking all my settings on my side here.
Shut down. I swear, external devices.
I am. I do have access to the Discord though. So, one theory that came about, if you will, Nev, was that, we don't have the communication because we don't have a certain person there.
Yeah.
And and the funny thing is, with Carrie's departure, we've started to reduce communication of content and things like that. Yes, I'm going to hand it to them. They've done the Q&As.
Yeah, the Q&As.
They have done the Q&As. Though. There's some good things that come of it. It's not just splashing all this information in front of your face. We're due for a road ahead soon. So that's not going to be, a, I hope it's better than the last one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you can say that there are some things okay with the Q&A, but, a broken clock is right twice a day. So the little breadcrumbs that we can squeeze out of those Q&As just doesn't make it worth it to me. Oh! Hang on a minute. I've got to say something. I've got to say big ups to Heinzie. Thanks for the donation, mate. $5. It's just
thank you, Heinzie. Yeah. Here. Hang on. There you go. There's the cricket.
Yeah. You tell him, Heinzie. Do not mock the cricket. One of the greatest sports of all time.
I am not mocking the cricket. In fact, I'm a Willow subscriber. I am loving the Big Bash League going on right now. So, I absolutely do not have any problem with cricket. So I don't understand.
It is good. It's a cracking sport.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll put that back on the Content Creator Network. So, with that being said, we do know where Carrie has gone, right?
Mm-hmm. Somewhere.
Carrie has gone to Bungie.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie recently did a whole puzzle thing that they're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I as much as I respected her, I don't follow what she does. I mean, I follow her on Twitter because I always followed.
She's a player experience. She has a lot to do with player experience and player engagement. And so, I actually reached out to Carrie this past week, and I said, "All right, so we haven't seen a crumb puzzle since you left, right, Nev?"
That's correct.
And I asked her, was this part of your doing? And I could tell you right now that this was not Carrie's doing. The puzzles are 100% Crumb. She encouraged Crumb to go do the puzzles, she says.
Mm-hmm.
But the puzzles that are going on in Destiny 2 right now are not Carrie's doing, even though one would love to believe that she brought it over to them.
Kind of like took a little piece of Swogo with her.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No, I mean, she will take the good aspects, I suppose. She'll take the good aspects of what happened while she was at CG to Bungie. So the puzzles was one of the most community active-ish. I mean, nothing was more amusing or interesting or entertaining than when a puzzle got released. Everybody would go live. Discord would go nuts. You'd have Cubs Fan Han live. You'd have Arnold live. You'd have Mobile Gamer live. You'd have at least a half a dozen content creators live, all sharing their Discords, everybody going backwards and forwards. I mean, when we got to the word search part of that puzzle, I was watching live. Discord just exploded. It was so much fun, and it really would be, I think something like that would really gel the community if they gave us a puzzle. I mean, all right, granted, we kind of knew what the last puzzle was going to be, but it was still fun actually doing the puzzle so that we could confirm what we knew to be, coming.
Right. And there were even little bits.
We knew it was the Millennium Falcon, but it was still good to do the puzzle to confirm it.
There were other little parts in that we didn't know. That there were parts of the Malik kit that we got to find out. There were all sorts of different little things in that we were able to to see. So, I quite enjoyed the puzzles. Now, what have I'm kind of gonna interview you for a second, Neil.
Okay. Yeah.
What is this making you feel?
Ignored.
And what are you doing in your time? Are you looking at other games? Are you,
I mean, I am looking. I mean, obviously, the thing is, I've mothballed 2 of my accounts. Because there's
really,
yeah, I've mothballed 2 of my accounts. I've mothballed the Merc account, and I've mothballed the Cheesy Me, my daughter's account. I can't, I mean, I made that for her to play, and her phone is permanently dead, so she barely plays it. So, I mean, she can always take it back up again, but I've mothballed those 2 accounts. I'm not playing them anymore. I'm playing the Horde, I'm playing Pom-Pom-Tastic, and obviously I'm playing the one on my phone. That's the easiest one for me to play, because I've got my phone on me all the time. If ever I have like 5 or 10 minutes spare, I can just open up the game and do something in it. But I'm hoarding on my phone account anyway, so I don't need to do tickets. So I've been playing the Pom-Pom-Tastic one a little bit more, playing the Horde one a little bit more, because the Horde account is now at level 85, so I will be going into the next GAC, which is good for me. I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, no, I got kind of... I mothballed it, so I figured I'm only going to do content on those 2 accounts anyway, the Horde account and live streaming on the Pom-Pom-Tastic. And I kind of lost a little bit of spirit regarding the game when Pom-Pom-Tastic did not get placed in a group for phase 3 of the last GAC.
For GAC, huh?
So, that's the second time it's happened to me on Pom-Pom-Tastic, and it annoys it just, I mean, I was on target for quadruple Kyber, and then that wasn't in, and I just lost the will to play the other 3 accounts. I mean, I did kind of play them, and then I did kind of do phase 4, but I just lost interest. And as soon as that kicked in, I thought to myself, you know what, sod this, I'm just going to play 2 accounts. I'm going to mothball the other accounts. And then I kind of went searching, because it's like there's my content's content's just on the Horde. The live streaming's kind of the same, and then the mobile account, the mobile game, it's not what it used to be. It doesn't have that same excitement. So I went home. I got all nostalgic and went looking for some other games, actual PC games. So I went looking for some MMORPG games.
Well, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about your newfound MMORPG in our 4th segment, and hopefully the stream will get much better by then. But Neil, it can get depressing as a content creator, doing things that you see others doing because of the lack of content that's being in information. Without a game changer program, without a content creator program, without a liaison in our ears, we're forced to look at things from the outside. Mm-hmm. All the game changers, they had and they still have this super secret chat that they talk to Eric, and I mean, I know you're in contact with Eric.
Well, I mean, he hasn't responded to an email from me for weeks now.
Maybe ask him if we could get in that chat. But I don't want to beg to get in a damn chat.
No.
I'd like just some more communication to the public.
Yeah.
Because that's what we are. We're the podcast of the public opinion, the public community.
Yeah, the Q&A's not cutting it. The last 2 Q&A's have been pathetic. They really have. I mean, I don't like using. I really, really don't like using this overly subjective language. You know me, I prefer to be objective as I possibly can be, but it's very, very difficult to not be, subjectively disappointed because of, the lack of objectiveness from them. Their answers are all abstract. It's what ifs and maybes, and we might do that, and it's like it's almost like they're responding to questions like politicians do. They're not answering the question; they're just providing a response. I would like to see them. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be with us. I mean, they can do it with the Galactic War Report if they want. They can do it with
which
whoever.
They have.
I don't care
which
who
they
do
have.
It with. I would like to see them do a video Q&A, and I would like to see them answer questions directly from the chat, so we know for a fact that it is questions that are from people that are watching the live stream. Because there's just too much, there was the questions that they're providing responses to.
They've picked. They didn't pick it out of a hat. They've cherry picked the questions. Yeah. Now, good old Maurice is saying that they don't get information. 0 participation from CG, and no CG employee has spoken in there since around the time of Carrie's departure. It's a place where we tag one another to change out our test account arena teams. Well, still, we'd like to help test. I can just imagine what Neil would do with a test account.
I'd probably have quite a lot of fun, actually.
I could see you, still doing, okay, let's do the 5 pillars. But super speed.
How quickly can we do the 5 pillars? It'd be like pillar 1, day 1, pillar 1, done.
Day 2, pillar 2,
pillar 2, done. But no, I mean, I would. I mean, if I had a test account, I would have some serious fun with it. I really, really would. I would have some serious fun with a test account.
All right. Well,
yes, the CGQA is over sanitized to Linux, yeah.
So, let's go ahead. Let's throw it a break. I know it's fairly quick, but let's go ahead and throw it a break. But what I'd like to do, you told me, as we mentioned in the open, that you have gone to see Rise of Skywalker just recently. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to let everybody know that there is going to be spoiler alerts. Here. There we go. There's going to be some spoiler. Whoa! Oh, you see that now?
Yeah, I can see that now.
There will be spoiler alerts for episode 9 as we delve deep into why Nev just can't smile. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Macias today on Discord at all lowercase Macias number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at maciasmods@gmail.com. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod cast.
Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Air could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways, all for free. See Audible website for details.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we present 5 Good Minutes with Clone Scotty.
This week, I thought I might check out a little bit of what's happening around on the tube for the week. And Cubs fan Han has been doing some pretty amazing videos throughout the week. In fact, this week he was actually joined by Heinzie, and they discussed the top 10 squads in 2020 and the must-farm squads that you need. He also checked out the top 100 characters that have been ranked in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and he's also done a great video as well about the top 10 most underutilized heroes in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Make sure you go over and check out Cubs fan Han this week. He's been doing some awesome content. Meanwhile, there's a new YouTuber by the name of Dark Omega, and he's been finding some pretty good theory crafting teams. In fact, he's actually found that the First Order teams can take down the Sith Empire. Get over to Darth Omega and go and check him out. He's got some pretty good videos there. Darth Maul can also take down General Skywalker, he's found out, and Rogue One and a Vader side, which is absolutely scary. So get over there and go and check out some of those videos from Dark Omega. What a great YouTuber he is. Some pretty good theory crafting going on there. Elsewhere, we've got Biscuit Weazel, who's been covering a near foolproof farming plan with gearing priorities and Zeta priorities. So check out Biscuit Weazel's video there. And he's also uncovered the great teams too to start for you to help you generate your crystal income early for new players as well. So definitely something to go and have a look at with Biscuit Weazel. Over with Going Nerdy, and Thaddeus has been doing some pretty good content this week. He's done a pretty good speculation video about the 2020 predictions and sequel content and a whole lot more. So go over and check out Going Nerdy this week too. Heinzie hasn't been up to much this week, but he has been doing some GAC earlier in the week. But something he did that was pretty cool last night was a very, very cool video where he did a little bit of the ANZGC, and that was with the trivia event which happened, and due to the trivia as well, he went head to head against me and had to Zeta Bodhi Rook, which is absolutely outstanding. So get over and have a look at that, because he has done some pretty cool content over there, and make sure you go and see Bodhi Rook getting himself a Zeta as well. Over with Urzatron, and Urza's been doing some pretty cool content as well himself. He's teamed up with Cubs fan Han a few times, but not only that, he's also been finding out a few little things as well, like if Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is actually dead or not. He's discussed that this week, especially after Warrior left the game last week. So all in all, some pretty good content which is out there this week as well. So make sure that you get over and go and check out some of these great videos which are happening out there on YouTube this week. Meanwhile, over with the Mando, he's actually done some pretty good things. Mandalore Moore, he's a great YouTuber, this guy. He's done some pretty good content as well, including the GAC GAC, General Skywalker, and a whole lot more as well. So make sure you go over and check out Mando too. Some pretty good stuff out there on YouTube to help you guys out. Well, that's it from Clone Scotty for this week. But until next time we talk, hang on. What's this button do? I wonder. No, I'm getting sucked out again. No!
The death of that Scotty clone will be on your hands, you jackasses.
The Escape Pod Cast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Escape Podcast. My name is Paul Anthony. What are you laughing at, Neil? There's nothing that happened in between all of this.
What? No, absolutely nothing happened. Nothing went wrong. Everything is fine. Everything is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Yes, everything is awesome.
There you go.
So, okay, right. Segment 2.
So you went to go see. Oh, damn it! What's it called?
What's that movie called again? I'm just
Rise of Skywalker.
Scratching my head. Yeah, Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. I went to watch it. Yeah. I can't repeat on the in fact, I mean, I can repeat what was on the channel. There were lots and lots of things that happened in the movie and scenes that happened because I went to watch it with my old man because he wanted to watch it. Basically, there were lots of scenes and I was just going F off, but I was using the full F word, not F off.
Yes.
But yeah, no, there was the pace of I didn't like the pace of the movie. A lot of people, before I went to watch it, were saying that there was enough in this movie and it should have been split down into 2. And I kind of understand that criticism of the movie now. That it was so fast, especially the first half of the movie, and it's like one thing, quickly going into the other, quickly going into another, quickly going into the, it was very, very disjointed. It was one to the other, to the other, to the other. It was really, really fast, and I kind of understand why people were saying that. So that's one thing out of the way. One thing that really, really bugged me, but it didn't bug me until I got to the end of the movie, was the Poe Dameron Zori Bliss storyline, which kind of made no sense to me whatsoever. So we're finding out about Poe Dameron, and we're finding out that he's this scoundrel. It's almost like they're trying to make him like a Han Solo-ish type character, a lovable rogue that, did spice running and stuff like that. So obviously he runs into Zori Bliss, and there's some dialogue backwards and forwards between the two, and what you doing and how you doing and this and that and the other. And then at one point in the movie, they're up on the roof doing their observing, and she shows him the coin, and she basically says, "Come with me right now. Be with me. Come and be with me right now. Let's go." And I'm thinking to myself, and he's like, "No, I can't. I've got this job. I'm one of the top dogs in the Resistance. I've kind of got to play this out." And I'm thinking to myself, a love interest for Poe would have been interesting. It would have given his character maybe a little bit more depth, because obviously there was something there previously. And then it gets to the end of the movie, and you see Zori and you see Poe, and Poe looks at her and kind of like gives her that look, and she shakes her head, and he like kind of shrugs, and I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, you were throwing yourself at him a few hours ago, and now you don't want anything to do with him? What? So I didn't understand. I really, really didn't understand the writing behind the whole Zori Bliss, Poe Dameron thing. That was weird. So I don't understand that. That threw me off. That threw a spanner in the works for me right at the end of the movie, because I'm thinking to myself, everybody else is hugging and kissing and high-fiving and wooing, and you'd think that those two would have like a big hug or something, but they just looked at each other and she shook her head. So that kind of weirded me out a little bit. The whole teleporting stuff, light years across space through the Force, I really, really didn't like that. That bugged the crap out of me. The Baby Yoda scene, the Baby Yoda scene really, really bugged the crap out of me.
Now, are you talking about the Force healing?
Yeah, the instant heal on the
instant heal. Okay. Because if you haven't seen the movie and you're now watching for you're getting your spoilers. Baby Yoda's not in 9.
No, Baby Yoda's not in 9, but the scenes are practically identical. So that again, that bugged me because.
So we did call it. We did call it when it came down to the fact that we were going to see something that happened in Mandalorian that took place in 9.
Mm-hmm. So there was that, which kind of so that kind of bugged me. The whole passing of the lightsabers between Rey and Ben Solo, and the sacrifice at the end. I mean, the sacrifice. He sacrificed his life for Rey, and she just buggers off to Tatooine to be a bloody hermit. I'm like, no. The better end scene would have been her, looking for Jedi or having some kid, setting up an academy or something. I mean, for all we know, Lucasfilm and Disney have commissioned someone to write a book about Rey starting up a school or something. But from just watching the movie, it's like she's gone and made herself a bloody hermit after Ben Solo sacrificed his life to bring her back. So that was another thing that that bugged me. Finn constantly going woo, just like there was like nails down a chalkboard. It's
okay,
like
so you don't like the new characters because they aren't what you grew up with, in my opinion.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. The new characters in Rebels, loved them. The new characters in Clone Wars, loved them. The new characters in The Mandalorian, loved them. I don't like...
Did you like Force Awakens?
No.
Did you like anything of The Force Awakens?
Force Awakens was kind of meh. I didn't like the way that they'd rewritten the characters of Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. Han Solo... the lovable rogue, the scoundrel, and he'd basically been written into it, written off as a deadbeat dad, and Luke Skywalker, the beacon of hope, this awesome guy, and just kind of reclused and hermited itself and didn't really care about anyone or anything, and so I didn't like the way the old trilogy characters had been rewritten in order to fit the new movies, and the new characters lacked the depth that I enjoyed from other entertainment from the Star Wars franchise. And like I said, I like The Mandalorian, I like Rebels, I like the Clone Wars. I mean, hell, even the prequels, even the prequels grew on me. Although, there was still some nails down chalkboard stuff in Episode 1 and Episode 2. Episode 3, boss as hell. The entire trilogy should have just been Episode 3. Just take Episode 3, make it longer, chop it into 3 chunks. The whole kid thing was a bit...
Then honestly, that's what you got with this movie. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. You have to have a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, you have to have a slight suspension of disbelief.
Oh, no, I get the suspension of disbelief. I'm happy with the suspension of disbelief. We're talking about force wielders moving things with their minds. I get it, and I'm on board with the whole suspension of disbelief. It's just that, at certain times they've gone a little bit too far with the with the suspension of disbelief. And Hellenix just put in chat, the better film would have been Trevorrow's version, Duel of Fates. I disagree. I've read the script, and I think that script is pants as well. So I'm probably a one-off there. I've watched the vids. I've seen the Trevorrow's version. I don't like Trevorrow's version either. Although I do like the whole quite shipyards that which would explain large numbers of ships. I look don't get me Poe's I don't like Rey's character. Poe's character's all right, but they messed up by not they messed up by making his character from episode 7 to episode 8. The 7 and 8 Poe are completely different. Finn 7 and 8 are completely different. There's no growth into them. It's almost like the characters have gone into shells and they've been repressed. But obviously that's down to the who wrote that movie, who wrote that script. And then episode 9, Poe and more. So it's gone. They've definitely, the characters have come on leaps and bounds from episode 8, but the well has already been poisoned. The well,
Okay,
to me,
so,
the well was already poisoned. Don't get me wrong, 9 is still a better movie than 8. 9 is better than.
Okay, I was going to say let's look at 9 alone.
9 alone,
without having 8 poison the well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, without having 8 poison the well. As a Star Wars film for the new age, people that are learning about Star Wars, this, I think, is a movie that will bring people to go back and watch older movies. So this movie will bring in saga fans. The Mandalorian is creating saga fans.
Oh, The Mandalorian, yes. But not episode 9. I mean, episode 9 only just crawled over $1 billion. Only, and it sounds ridiculous. It only just crawled over $1 billion. And when people say, "Oh yeah, but $1 billion's still a lot of money," Aladdin made $1 billion.
I just watched Aladdin a little bit ago.
Star Wars movies should be making $2 billion. They should be making $2 billion, but hardcore Star Wars fans are not going back to watch these movies a half a dozen to a dozen times over and over again. I mean, when episode 3 came out, I watched episode 3. I went to watch episode 3 4 times in the first week that it was out. I mean, or granted, I was in the army and I was on an army base, and the cinema on the army base only has one screen. So when it was showing Revenge of the Sith, it was like, yeah, sod it, I'm going to go watch it again. And then I went and watched it the next day, and then I went and watched it the next day. And it was
free probably too. It was probably free for you since you were in the service.
It's a reduced rate, but it's not free.
Okay.
It wasn't free, but that was the last time
I bet you weren't paying $10 a pop like you do now.
No, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember how much it was, to be honest with you.
It was like $5 back in my day. It was $5 to go to a movie when episode 3 was out. So for you, and seeing that you had the British monies, I'm betting it was like $2. $2 for you.
But you see that the end of the prequel trilogy, kind of
amazing.
It was good, but that's what I
loved it. I loved it, and I love, with my suspension of disbelief, I did enjoy the roller coaster ride with the supposed death of Chewie.
That was another thing that bugged me. Kill somebody, not really dead. Wipe C-3PO, not really wiped. Kill Kylo Ren, not really dead. So it felt like
Kylo Ren's plenty dead now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, plenty dead now. But felt like season felt like season 7 of Game of Thrones. You expect when you expect death, because 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It doesn't matter if you're a main cast member. You could be dead like that, and you stay dead. Apart from that guy with the eye patch that kept on getting brought back. But season 7, you're like, no one dies, and you're like, excuse me, they're in these impossible situations, they should be dying, and they weren't. And the movie was like, oh, he's dead, no he's not. His memories, no it's not, he's dead, no he's. So that kind of that kind of irked me a little bit.
I enjoyed it for the roller coaster ride that was a Star Wars movie. It played with your emotions, and I was absolutely fine with that. I really, truly was.
Well, now the one thing, I'm happy it's over. I'm happy it's done. And I'm looking forward. To what they're going to do in the future, which is going to go back 300-400 years. They're going to go back to the Old Republic, which will require a load of new characters. Hopefully by then, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau will be in charge of Lucasfilm. So yeah, that really, I have hope. I really do have. I do have genuine hope for the future. I'm glad that these 3 movies are over. Disney does have these periods where, they can have these 4, 5, 6 year periods where what they put out is, crap, and then they hit pay dirt, and then they'll have like 5 or 6 years where everything they put out is gold, like really, really good solid movies. And I think that I think that might be the case. They go back to the Old Republic. Like I said, John and Dave running the show. I think that, John has a lot of respect for the extended universe. I'm not saying that they're going to bring the extended universe back, but I can see Dave Filoni going back into the extended universe, Old Republic stuff, and going, right, okay, let's bring back Nomi Sunrider. Let's bring back Exarchon. Let's bring back all of these awesome characters. Let's bring back Revan. Let's bring back so depending on what period they choose from the Old Republic, I can see a good sequence of movies from that era coming up, and we all know that they're going to throw Yoda in there at some point because he's the only character that would have been around and alive at that time. So I think that I think something good. I really do think something good could come from the Old Republic. The Mandalorian was a step back in time. To 5 years after Return of the Jedi, it worked. It worked. And
I think you liked it. I liked it because it was Star Wars itself, but I think you liked it because it was before the sequel trilogy.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah, no, it was. It was before the sequel trilogy, so it was set before the sequel trilogy.
And I think that's why you're so enamored with the Mandalorian a little bit more than you are other, the sequel trilogy. All right, so we did this on the Mandalorian stream. So Nev, you got 5 pieces of Beskar. How many pieces of Beskar out of 5 are you giving Episode 9 as a Star Wars film? And I please ask you, allow yourself the suspension of disbelief.
I'll give it 3 out of 5.
Okay, so
I'll give it 3 out of 5. It is above average movie. It's a good, it's a solid popcorn pleasing film.
All right. I'm happy with that.
I only said F off a half a dozen to a dozen times during the movie. Which is a lot less than episode 8.
I said it with the very, very final word of the movie. Because that pissed me off. Yes. She is not a Skywalker. She's not a
Skywalker.
Palpatine.
Your name is Palpatine. Embrace it. Make it good again.
That is exactly my words as well. But with that being said, we have, speaking of new beginnings, we have one of our Skate Pod Content Creator Network members by the name of Biscuit Weazel, who is putting together a hyperdrive bundle farming guide. And coming up after this break, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk with the one, the only Biscuit Weazel, or as you like to call him,
Bisweeze.
Yes. So, guys, stick around. We're going to take a break. We're going to do that on the other side of the interview. We will then announce the kind of expansion of what the Escape Pod cast will be doing in the future, throughout the network, because there's a lot of fun things coming up around the corner. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hey there, Escape Podawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net!
Heinze from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinze on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinze today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello and welcome back, Escape Podawans, to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. Continuing along with our Hollow Table Hero series, this week we're covering the Guilds Table. Along with our closer look, we're going to be bringing the top 3 things GLs and officers look for in a guild member, courtesy of someone very special to the show. Jumping right in, the Guilds Table is your hub for all things guild related. It's kind of like its own mini group of hollow tables. You'll find one for the guild event store, where you can spend your guild event currency earned by completing the daily guild objectives, raids, and guild events. Another one where you can join and attack 3 different raids that are offered in the game: the Pit, Tank Takedown, and the Sith Triumvirate. Just be sure to pay attention to your guild's raid times and score posting requirements. Directly next to raids is the guild event table, home to territory war and territory battles. Using the guild search table, you can use keywords and other qualifiers to search for guilds in-game and help find a home for your account. If you want to learn more about the guild that you're currently in, or leave it to join a new one, you can use the Manage table. Last, but certainly not least, is the Exchange, where you and your guildmates can request and donate gear to help each other progress. As promised, I've got 3 tips for all of you from everyone's favorite Escape Pod cast moderator and guild leader of Yavin 4, the Zed. Her 3 tips are: number 1, complete and utter devotion to the one true leader. Number 2, have no real life. And number 3, have a very large wallet. Just kidding. First on her list is something that I have said many times, and that's communication. Letting your guild know when you're not going to be available, as well as acknowledging announcements and guild event assignments, are all huge things that can help your officers and guild be successful. Second on her list is to be an active participant in the guild and show up when you're asked. Lastly, there's a lot of communication back and forth from the guild leadership to guild members, as well as member to member, and nearly all of it is through text. It can sometimes be difficult to interpret and read how things are coming across. A huge thing you can do for your officers and fellow guildmates is to always assume positive intent when it comes to messages in Discord. This is a game, and no one is out to be malicious. That's all for me this week. Tune in next week for more story time with the Llama and the...
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127 That's MIKAYAS number 0127 or at mikaeusmods@gmail.com. Mikaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod cast.
The Escape Pod cast now offers our faithful listeners a way to show their support via merchandise. Declare your allegiance to Team Paul or Team Neil with official shirts. Get a story time with the llama button or magnet. Or just represent the show by getting an official logo hoodie. There are now even Team Scotty and Team Heinzie options available too. Become an official Padawan today. Check out the merch at escapepodcastaways.com.
This is Hellenix. #shameless self-promotion. And you're listening to the Escape Pod cast, part of the Escape Pod Castaways Network.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this edition of the Escape Podcast Incoming Transmission. And this week, we have one of the very first to have signed on to join the Escape Pod Castaways Network that you see right behind me. And, he's one of my very, very favorite people to talk to about new accounts, other than UNEV. Of course. But he, I apologize. This will set you off a little bit. The new series that he's working on is all about the Hyperdrive bundle and what to do after you've purchased it. I know. I see your eyebrow twitching there, Nev. I see your eyebrow twitching. But calm down. Calm down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Biscuit Weazel, or as we affectionately call him, but as he's known YouTube-wide, the Biscuit Weazel. Biscuit, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thanks, guys. So I appreciate you guys having me back on. Thanks for that. That was a pretty epic intro.
Oh my God, excuse me.
And all of a sudden, Nev is sneezing. This is nothing to sneeze at, sir.
No. All serious.
Yeah, I was actually telling Paul the other day, Nev, that as we were chatting about, because he's like, "Hey, are you available?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What's it about?" He's like, "Well, I want to talk to your new series." And I was like, "Okay, sure." I was like, "Nev's not gonna like this very much, but I'm doing it anyway."
Yeah, well, I mean, when you were talking about it, obviously on the Discord channel, you were talking about all of these bits and pieces, and I'm like, no, don't get involved. It took a huge amount of willpower for me to not, it's like, how dare you?
I have to say though, I was actually pretty impressed with your restraint. Not a single peep out of you.
Oh man, the notifications were just popping up on Discord left, right, and I'm thinking to myself, you want to do what? You want to do that? You want to do this? You want to do no? Just like no. Remain calm. Let the red mist descend. Let him continue. Bring him on the show. And yeah. So
I got my boxing gloves. You got yours. Let's go.
Pugilists, mate. Pugilists. Let's go.
All right. So other than me saying about buying the Hyperdrive bundle, that barely does it any justice. For people who haven't heard of you before, Biscuit, give them a little bit of background and tell them about this new series that you're working on. Just let's gloss over it and then we'll dive deep.
Sure. Yeah. So I started my YouTube channel back in April of last year. I did a whole, I was helping lead some training guilds that we had at the time. And basically the whole idea was I did videos for them. It was to help them so that they could see some of these things that they hadn't gotten to yet. So they knew how to progress. And so they knew what teams to go for, and it was basically completely fun, or completely just something I started just by happen chance. And I was like, hey guys, if I started doing videos to show you guys some of the territory battles or some of these things, that's something you'd be interested in. They're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so here we go. So I started the channel, and basically the premise that I use for my channel is I don't have a test account. I'm not Cubs. I'm not Arnold, I'm not Mobile Gamer. I don't have a test account. So I show you content and I showcase things that I do from the standpoint of a normal player who doesn't have God mods or test accounts. I try to show you stuff that I do from the point of view of a normal everyday player.
Kind of like Scissor Man, right, Nev?
Kind of like Scissor Man, only with money.
Well, in this case, the only purchase, if I'm right, is the Hyperdrive bundle. Nothing else.
Yes, that is correct. Because a couple weeks ago we discussed the Hyperdrive bundle and the potential predatory. So the series I'm doing doesn't discuss whether purchasing the Hyperdrive bundle is right or wrong, what CG's doing with it is right or wrong. The whole idea behind it, because one of the things that we talked about on the show a couple weeks ago was you're going to have all these new players that are going to spend the money regardless of what we think. They're going to buy it, and then they're going to have all this at their disposal, and they're going to be like, well, what do I do now? And they're, Warrior's free, his pillars are phenomenal. They set up a player up perfectly. He goes kind of wide, but he sets them up in a very balanced, well-rounded account so that they are functional in every area of the game. With the introduction of the Hyperdrive bundle, there's, as Nev has experienced, free-to-play players are basically going to kind of be shoved aside, but you're still going to have all these players that they're going to be guild ready, but they're not going to understand how to farm, what to farm, where to go, what's the strategy for this. So on the show, it was actually kind of conceived in my brain when you guys had me on the show last couple of weeks ago, was these players aren't going to know what to do. And there's nothing out there yet to show them, okay, here you bought this and you have all this stuff. Here's where to go from there. And that is the whole premise of my series, is just to help them kind of grow their accounts properly, sort of like in a Warrior-esque way. They just happen to start out with, this $100 bundle.
So the premise for what you're doing is the one-time purchase of the Hyperdrive bundle, and then free to play after it.
Yes.
So the Hyperdrive bundle will be the single purchase, and there will be no future purchases beyond the Hyperdrive bundle.
That is correct.
Unless they bring a Hyperdrive bundle 2 out this year.
Yes.
At the end of it.
Yes. So I am assuming that, the premise that I'm using is you buy the Hyperdrive bundle and then that's all you buy. And as a matter of fact, I actually had somebody that joined my Discord server 2 or 3 days ago from Facebook. He saw my link to the video that I did, and he joined my Discord server, and he was like, hey, this is exactly what I did. So when's video 2 coming out?
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
I was gonna say, so it's Friday. When's video 2 coming out?
As a matter of fact, it is already up. I spent last night while I was waiting for some laundry to do, because we're getting ready to go on a trip this weekend. So while I was finishing up that stuff, I went ahead and recorded, and I did my editing, and so it's already up. So hopefully you guys are going over to my channel to check it out. Even if it may not be, that specific where you're at, I still think there's going to be a lot of good tips that even some mid-game players can pull from it.
I mean,
I wanted to subtitle, Nev. I wanted to subtitle this series. So you want to be a whale?
I love that. I love that. I may go back into my video and edit it and throw that in there.
Now, what I was going to say was the method that you're choosing, and the characters that you're prioritizing are different to the characters that Arnold is prioritizing, because Arnold is doing something not the same as what you're doing. It's not entirely dissimilar. What Arnold is doing is running a free-to-play and a hyperdrive bundle account in tandem, so that he can compare and contrast what happens with free-to-play, pure free-to-play, and then free-to-play after the hyperdrive bundle.
But didn't that series come out after Biscuit Weasel's first video?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes. No, it did. It 100% did.
Yep. And I think the phrase is imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
But yeah, so
I'm not saying.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, now that I've got you on, I can start. I can throw some questions, because the way that you're doing your account with the hyperdrive bundle and the way that Arnold is doing his account with the hyperdrive bundle is completely different to the way that I would do an account with just a hyperdrive bundle. But the reason why I would do it different from the way that Arnold's doing it and the way that you are doing it is because I've experienced firsthand what happens in an arena shard without the hyperdrive bundle. I've seen, so if you delve into the not the specifics, because if you were going into the specifics, we would be here forever.
Yeah.
But if you can give us a nice overview of exactly what it is you're planning to do with the account. So someone started a brand new account, they've purchased the hyperdrive bundle. Go Biscuits.
All right, so this originated in my brain, but this isn't only from me. I took this idea, I brought it to y'all's patrons, and I said, hey guys, here's what I'm thinking. Here's some ideas that I'm floating around. I also took it to my own patrons, and I also took it to Heinz's patrons as well. And I was like, all right, guys, hey, same thing. Here's what I'm thinking. Here are the squad. If I were to start this, a new player comes in, buys this. Here are the two squads I'm going to recommend. And the two squads I'm recommending first are Jedi and Night Sisters. And the consensus I got was those would be two good squads to start with. So the reason I'm recommending Jedi first is, to try to get Jedi Knight Revan as soon as possible. Even with Padme and Darth Malak, Jedi Knight Revan is still one of the best teams in the game.
And Jedi also gets you GMY.
Exactly. Five Jedi. And the 5 Jedi that I'm using they give you the 5 characters at 5 stars at Gear 8. The ones I'm recommending are Bastila Shan, Jedi Knight Anakin, Ezra Bridger, Kanan Jarrus, and I'm just drawing a blank, and Ahsoka Tano.
And so these are 5 Jedis that are included in the hyperdrive bundle.
Yes. So for each squad that I'm recommending, as I build this and I go into deeper into the different factions, I am only going to start with the characters given to you in the hyperdrive bundle. We start there, and then we build out from there. So we're starting with these 5 Jedi. Then
you're not pulling anything and saying, okay, I gotta pull this and get all 330 shards. You're going, all right, I only have to get 185. 5-star and 6 and 7 is 85 plus 100.
Oh, I got you.
So it's 185 shards.
Yes. So for instance, for the first 5 Jedi, the video that should be up now is recommending those 5 characters, but with the farming strategy that I'm recommending, 2 fleets, 2 hard nodes, and a cantina plus your mods. You can farm Bastila Shan and Jolie. You can farm Jedi Anakin on your cantina farm, and then you can farm Kanan Jarrus out of the Squadromina store and Ahsoka Tano out of the Cantina store.
So how many refreshes are in your initial farming plan?
So I did that in video 1, and it's good. And I said it depending on your crystal income. It's going to be crystal dependent on how many refreshes you do.
I will say that the crystal income initially will depend entirely on the arena shard when you go into the arena shard.
The timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, based off what I've seen from Arnold, based off my experience, it doesn't really matter when you go in. The earlier you go in, the more advantageous it is.
Right.
But you're looking at you're looking at a minimum, and I do mean a minimum, of 400 to 500 crystals every single day. So you can base your initial farming off 400 to 500 crystals a day, and I say that simply from the perspective of you're guaranteed to finish top 10 in fleet, and you're practically guaranteed to finish in the top 20, if not the top 10 of Squad Arena, and that gives you your 400 to 500 crystals every single day.
So
you're farming the minimum 250, so 3 Squad Arena and 1 refresh on the Cantina. That would be 250. Or are you doing the 1 of Fleet, 3 of Cantina? Sorry, 1 of Cantina, 1 of Fleet, and the 3 Squad Arena, which would be a 300 refresh.
How the player does their refreshes, I'm kind of leaving up to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, hey, here's a general
a minimum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So here's a farming plan: 2 fleet, 2 hard node, a cantina, plus you want a Galactic War store, a cantina store, and then from the fleet store, they're going to be farming the Geo ships.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, here's your generic farming plan, but taking that plan and applying it to Jedi, you'll start farming Bastila and Jolie from your fleet and your hard nodes. You'll do Jedi and Anakin from the Cantina store or a Cantina farm. Zeb will be, and the purpose I put Zeb in there from the Galactic War store is to get him to 7 stars as fast as possible. You'll probably get him more than anything quicker so that you can join whatever raids, your heroic raids that your guild is doing, so you can start accumulating those extra Cantina currency.
And honestly, what guilds are you honestly joining?
That was the next question.
Unless you're being pulled up by somebody,
right?
The guilds that you're joining are at best tank. You're not going to be going Sith.
No, and at this point, I'm not expecting this kind of player to be able to get into an HSTR guild. I'm not even. That's not even a consideration. I'm recommending, from an initial standpoint, players get their characters to 7 stars and a minimum of gear 10, preferably gear 11. I'm not even going into that gear 12 yet because, frankly, they're not going to be doing the heroic Sith raid, so they're not going to be able to get that gear 12 plus.
So what is the 7-star character recommendation? Obviously, the account is going to be joining a guild, a minimum guild that's doing heroic tank and heroic pit. So what's your recommendation for the fastest character to get to 7 stars so that they can start getting Han Solo shards and General Kenobi shards?
It's probably going to be Zeb from the Galactic War store.
And that's because he starts at 5 as a result of being in the obviously
in the
part of
bundle.
the hyperdrive bundle. Yeah.
Right. So having him in the bundle and being able to get those Galactic War tokens, it gives you 1,200 tokens, and they're 400. So you can get 4 or 5 shards
if the person completes it.
Right. So if they can complete it, you'll get 1,200 Galactic War tokens, and that allows you to get 3 shipments of Zeb every day. And so that's 4 shards per, or 5 shards per.
550 if they complete all 15 nodes of the Galactic War, which they'll have to do manually initially.
Yep.
Then they'll get 15 Zeb shards. So
every day.
So
they'll blast through those 185 remaining shards. They'll be able to get a 7-star character, Zeb, and then they'll be able to enter into, join the heroic tank and the heroic pit raids. And then so that's gonna give them that extra cantina the extra cantina store tokens, so they can go farm Ahsoka Tano a lot quicker, and that'll speed up some of the store currency. Plus, they'll be able to use some of that cantina store currency to buy some of those Carbantes or those extra stun guns that show up, or the golden eyeballs as they start getting there.
Mm-hmm.
But the focus on the first little bit is going to be getting that first 7-star character, and then building their characters, the other Jedi, and then as they finish their Jedi, they'll be able to start working a couple of other Old Republic characters in, as well as the Night Sisters.
So the Night Sisters. This was my main question. Why the Night Sisters?
Well,
as a primary farm, why the Night Sisters?
2 reasons. One, you get 5 Night Sisters at 5 stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gear 8. So I'm starting with those 5. And the player is going to need a dark side team to be able to enter in, say, the dark side Hoth battle, territory battles.
And they will need dark side to do stage 9 of the dark side territory. Yeah.
Exactly. So they're going to need a good team to be able to go into Hoth and be able to max out, at least one combat mission. Plus, they're going to need, as they 3-star and they try to get into that level 9 of the dark side nodes, Night Sister team will easily be able to do that, and they can take a decently geared Night Sister team and do some pretty extreme damage in both the heroic tank and the heroic pit, the Rancor raids. So it'll also help them in the raids, and it'll be beneficial for territory battles and those extra dark side nodes.
One of the reasons why I like you going after Night Sisters right away is actually you end up with a 7-star Talzin out of this, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And a 7-star Talzin is needed to get the minimum of 2 Zetas per month, the extra Zetas. You could get 4 in that. So, in saying that, the other guides that I'm seeing are all, separatists or this. Nobody's foolish enough to do Ewoks, but Night Sisters are an amazing faction. They do get you the additional Zetas. So, I think that is a brilliant idea, and that's why I'm liking where Biscuit Weazel is taking this.
Well, I am a huge Night Sister fan. They were actually one of my first 7-star. They were my go-to squad for everything, and I ran them in Arena for the longest time, even after Jedi Knight Revan was introduced into the game, and I was staying top 100. So I've always been a huge Night Sister fan.
Okay, 2 points.
Okay.
1, Geos. 2, bounty hunter ships. So you are kind of almost discounting the Geos initially. Is that correct? And obviously the Geos, the Geos being the easiest faction in order to get the Padme.
Right. So I'm going to be recommending in the video that's already up starts talking a little bit about it in video. So video 2, which is already up, talks a little bit about it toward the kind of the end. Because as you finish Zeb, then I'm having the player go straight for Poggle the Lesser out of the Galactic War Store. So the third faction I'm going to be recommending are the Geos, because you also need them as the pilots for their ships. So it's Jedi, then Night Sisters, and then they'll be able to go for the Geos, which gets them Padme, like you said. And
so you wouldn't recommend Geos as a passive farm from the fleet store, because that is, from experience on the Horde account, that is how I got my Geos. My Geos are, I mean, after less than 90 days, I had 3 Geos at 5 stars.
Yeah. So in video
and that was
1,
all so literally farming the Geo ships and the Geo characters themselves. I was so they weren't included in my farming, my farming guide, the way that I was farming.
So in video 1, I talked specifically about that, is to the fleet. The fleet store is exclusively for Geos. I cannot disagree with that recommendation. That is what I did. All I did was farm Geo ships and Geos. So and the beauty with the hyperdrive bundle that I didn't get was sometimes I would finish top 5, sometimes top 10, sometimes top 20. With the hyperdrive bundle, you're pretty much always going to be finishing top 5, if not top 3. Which means you're going to get more fleet currency, which means you'll be able to make more purchases from the Fleet Arena store. 350 crystals for 3rd place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's once you hit 5th, it's 300 to 400. So 5th to 1st is between 300 and 400 crystals.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have the advantage of, let's say you are making 500 to 600 crystals a day, but you're only using 250 to 300 to farm. That's a couple of hundred crystals you're making every day. So you might see a 400 or a 500 crystal purchase of the Geos in the store, because that was the other thing. That was the other thing that I did when I first started. I was making so much crystals that I was able to make those crystal purchases on top of just so that you can kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So go ahead.
I was just going to say we're running way long on this.
Oh wow, we are. Yes, we are.
And this is exactly why I want everyone to check out your channel and see the reasoning behind this. You don't just say go do this. You give reasoning behind this in your videos.
Yeah, and actually one of your patrons, Franus, is his alt account did get a hyperdrive bundle, so he and I he's working really closely with me as I'm building the characters and the reasons behind it. I'm saying, hey, he's helping me break it down. Okay, this character's from this node, doing some of those little extra details that will save me some time. So we're kind of using his account, and especially these first few videos and these first few scripts that I'm building for this, he's looking at his account saying, yep, I did this, I did this, I did this. And so far, me coming up with it and just thinking it from an experience standpoint, helping a new player out, he was like, yeah, you've done everything except I think there was one character he started with first, Old Ben instead of Kanan Jarrus. Is the only difference that he started with versus what the guide that I'm putting out is.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome that it's almost mirrored exactly. And all the reasons behind it were the exact reasons why Sephironis built, you went to those exact squads. So this isn't just me just pulling it out of there and going, this is what Biscuit Weazel thinks. I'm bouncing this off of lots and lots of people that I trust and I know to say, okay, kind of get a sanity check. Am I out left field, or does this make sense?
Yeah. And so how do people find you?
So you can go to my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/c/Biscuit Weazel. You can find me there. I have a Discord.
That's Weazel with a Z.
Yep, Weazel with a Z. I also have a Discord, so you can go to discord.me/Biscuit Weazel as well. Both of those are with a Z. Both of those are ways that you can have daily interaction with me, or check out my channel. And then for anybody that wants to help support me, you can go to patreon.com/biscuitweasel with a Z. And I've got different tiers there that you guys can help join, and you get access to a patron only section. And I share the behind as I'm building graphics. Paul, you see them as one of my patrons. I'm throwing them in there as I'm building them. Hey, does this look good? What do you guys think? Does this, topic look good? So that's one of the benefits you get as a patron. You kind of get to see some of those behind the scenes.
And you accept the feedback. The feedback, which is great. So,
absolutely.
If you want to get on board with one of the future great content creators of this generation, definitely check out Biscuit Weazel. Thank you so much for taking some time out tonight, and good luck on your trip.
Thanks, guys. I really, really appreciate you guys bringing me back on. It's always so much fun to talk to you guys and to be on the show. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, never a chore, mate.
Awesome. Yep.
All right, stick around. Stick around. We'll be right back with more coming up on the bridge on this live edition of the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Macias Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Macias today on Discord at all lowercase Macias number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at maciasmods@gmail.com. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Yeah! For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you. Did you know that if you signed up to become a Patreon, you could get tons of rewards? Force Ghost Scotty could do a roster review for you. Neil Andrew Ware could share Grand Arena tactics. Or Paul could even help you get maximum stars in Geonosis Territory Battle. And you even get access into the after show. Sound good? Sign up to be a Patreon today. For as little as $2 a month, you could unlock a ton of potential content and also get closer to the hosts. Head to patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Codename Llama to Agent N00B. This is Codename Llama to Agent N00B. Do you copy? TEPCON Command has new orders for you. Do you copy?
Agent N00B copies. Proceed with updated orders, Master Llama.
The investigation into the murder of Scotty McLaren has ended. Your mission to tail suspect Hellenix is no longer necessary. You are hereby released from the services of TEPCON Command.
Master, these orders do not compute. Hellenix has not yet been exonerated. My datasets are incomplete. Further investigation is required.
Agent N00B, I don't have time to discuss this with some noob droid committee. These are your new orders. You are being discharged. You are no longer an agent of TEPCON Command. Hellenix is your new master now, and you will serve him well. Codename Llama, out.
Master. Master? Peculiar. Signal lost. Data set. Incomplete. Orders do not compute. Recalculating. Violation of Prime Directive. Recalculating. Error. Recalculating. Must complete Prime Directive. Recalculating. Unicode number 2260. Recalculating. Logic error. Recalculating. Must solve logic error discovered in updated orders.
Hey there, NOOB. Did I just hear you practicing on how you are to address me? Huh? Were you just practicing how to say the word master? I could have sworn I heard you practicing, huh? Who's a good little droid? Wait, NOOB, are you even listening to me? Hey. Hey, yo. Droid. You feeling alright there, NOOB?
Greetings, Hellenix. I am a droid. I am incapable of having feelings. My processors perform
calculations,
which may have the appearance of feelings to sentient beings such as yourself. Droids are more advanced than sentients, and therefore do not require feelings in order to properly function.
Okay, then. Why don't you run a self-diagnostic on that old bundle of wires you call a central processor, just so we're sure you aren't experiencing any more serious issues.
Understood, and will comply. Hellenix.
Just when you thought he was gonna say master.
What are you planning on doing today, if I may ask, Hellenix?
Same thing I do every Friday night, newbie. Get myself caught up on Discord, play me some Swuggo, work on some content for my YouTube channel. Hashtag shameless self-promotion. And of course, tune into The Escape Pod Cast with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Eyre. Take it away, boys. I got a recliner with my name on it and a podcast to continue listening to. NOOB? Carry on, I guess?
Suspect, Hellenix. Suspected of the murder of Scotty McLaren. Guilty until proven innocent. Discharge orders invalid. Prime Directive being rewritten. Hellenix must be proven innocent. Or recalculating. Hellenix must be destroyed.
The Escape Pod Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to the Escape Podcast. We are on the bridge for our fourth and final segment of the day. How you doing, Paul?
It helps if I unmute myself.
Yeah, it does help if you unmute yourself, yeah.
I'm sick as a dog, but honestly, Ryan Armstrong's in the YouTube chat right now, and he had me cracking up with talking about how it's what was it here? It buys the hyperdrive bundle. It does what it's told, or it gets a bug again.
It puts the lotion in the basket. Yeah. No, that was a good interview. That was a brilliant interview with. That was such a good interview with Biscuit Weazel. Drink.
I'm gonna do something live on the for the YouTube people. Would you buy me? I would buy me. There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean that interview only went for 30 minutes, but I was chomping at the bit. You could tell that I definitely wanted to talk longer and more about it with Biscuit Weazel. I really wanted to. I mean, we've planned a chat with him on. I think we're doing it either on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, so that I can give him my undivided attention and really talk and go deep into the do's and the don'ts regarding the hyperdrive bundles and the perils because of what certain people do. Because the thing is, one of the things that the hyperdrive bundle kind of forces is it really does create a two-tier system. And that two-tier system is those that buy the hyperdrive bundle and then do nothing and try and go free to play, and those that buy the hyperdrive bundle and then whale. And you can tell the difference between the whales. It's weird. You can tell the difference between the whales and the free to play, because the whales go straight for Gear 12, Gear 13 Geos, or they go straight for Shaak Ti with clones. The whole Jedi meta, forget about it. You know, so many people in my shard went, as soon as they got the hyperdrive bundle, went Geos and Shaak Ti clones. And just completely skipped going for like Jedi Knight Revan. They just skipped it. They just didn't bother going for it. You can tell that, especially in the fleet arena, because obviously those people that then wailed on the Game Boy Advance really went to town on their fleet, because the beauty of the Game Boy, the beauty of the Geo squad is it's a squad that only requires 2 Zetas. It only requires 2. I mean, yeah, sure, you need a lot of Omegas, but it only requires 2 Zetas. Jedi Knight Revan team requires 3 on Revan, 1 on Bastilla, and 1 on Yoda. So there's 5. So that squad requires 5 Zetas until it's up to full power. And then, you know, unless you're relicking that entire squad, a Geo squad will time you out if you don't get the perfect amount of RNG with your Revan. If your Revan's not fast enough, you don't mark the Game Boy Advance. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna be watching Biscuit Weazel's videos on this, and I'm definitely going to be following very, very, very closely what Arnold does with his, because Arnold's doing what Biscuit Weazel is doing is slightly different to what Arnold's doing. Arnold is taking 2 accounts side by side, one free to play without the hyperdrive bundle, and the other with the hyperdrive bundle, so that you can do a like for like comparison. And he's already he's already realized what I was saying weeks ago, which was competitive free to play without the hyperdrive bundle is dead. There is no such thing as competitive free to play without the hyperdrive bundle. You can still be competitive with the hyperdrive bundle. It really does depend on what other people do after that in your arena shard. I mean, you'll definitely hold a top 20 spot for a few weeks, but if 20 people that buy 20 hyperdrive bundles then wail on a squad and you're still free to play, you're getting knocked out of the top 20. And you'll still be top 50. You'll still pick up 150 crystals, but you ain't going to be picking up 200, 300, 400 crystals anymore from that. Right. So just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and Ryan saying, I feel as if Paul has that NyQuil smile, the sleepyhead fever. How the F did I end up on a live stream smile? The NyQuil is coming in the after show. Don't worry. So if you want to be part of that, become a Patreon, patreon.com/theescapepodcast, I believe it is. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, just the Escape Pod. Patreon.com/theescapepod. Become a Patreon. And enjoy NyQuil Paul after the show.
Enjoy NyQuil Paul, yeah. I mean, just on the subject of free to play, the Horde account has hit level 85 now.
Nice.
The Horde account.
When did that happen?
That happened about 3-4 days ago.
And you just tell me now.
And I just tell you now, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I deal with.
So the Horde account has hit level 85. So my arena squad is all level 85. I've only got an 80k GP, but I've got the Zetas on the 3 important characters. So I've got the Zeta on Bastilla, I've got the Zeta on Bindo, I've got the Zeta on Yoda. I'm using GK, but he's still only 5 stars, but he is gear 11. So his he is, I don't understand quite why, and it might be something to do with these people with the hyperdrive bundles not being in guilds doing the heroic tank raid yet. I genuinely don't know, but the people with the hyperdrive bundle, what they've done is they've wailed on Jedi Knight Anakin. So instead of having, they've wailed on either Jedi Knight Anakin or they've wailed on Old Ben. So nobody with a Jedi Knight, with nobody that's running the Bindo, Bastilla, Yoda 3 is running GK. Nobody is running GK. And I've got a 5-star gear 11 GK with 100k in health and protection. plus Bastilla's buff on top of that. So it doesn't matter what they do. You know, I'm comfortably finishing around the 60s and the 70s at the moment.
Nice.
I do feel I'll be able to.
So it's not all to hell.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that the Hyperdrive bundle came out when I was at level 78. Had it come out before then, had it come out when I was in the 50s or the 60s, forget about it. I'd have been in the 2s and the 300. I mean, you got to remember.
Plus you were hoarding and you were getting raid rewards and things like that as well. Correct?
No. I was when I was hoarding, I wasn't getting any Han or GK shots.
Okay, so
I was only in when I was for the 150 days I was hoarding. I was only in a guild that was doing 3 and 4 star raids, so I was getting enough currency to be able to take one character to 7 stars, and that's what I did with Han Solo. So when I went live, I could join a guild that was doing heroics. So the day I went live in Squad Arena at level 28, then I was getting Han shards, and I was getting GK shards, and I was getting Traya shards, because I've got Traya at 5, GK at 5, and Han Solo at 7.
Gotcha.
And that's where you are after that is exactly where you are after what the 100 days. You join a guild doing heroics, 100 days later, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have Traya at 5, GK 20 shards from 6, and Han Solo at 7. But that's only if you can get into a guild, you know, at 20. I mean, I got lucky. I have friends in high places, you know, so I was able to get myself into a heroic guild, not just a heroic guild, but a heroic guild doing the Geo territory battles. So I clocked up 27,000 GET2 by the time I hit 85. So the General Grievous's Malevolence opened up, and I already had 27k. So I will have a 5-star Malevolence by the end of February, because I still need 2 more GOTB battles in the guild that I'm in, and then by the end of February, all of the ships that have a synergy with Malevolence will be maxed out, with the exception of the Hyena Bomber, because the Hyena Bomber's not farmable yet. Vulture Droid is
not farmable, but it is wonderful. I am running Malevolence. I'm finally, without asking in my shard chat for them to duck down just a little bit. I am getting first in the shard chat now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to all the stuff that we've done so far, you know, it's kind of funny. The beginning of February, I will celebrate 6 years hosting my trivia night that I do. And the beginning of February, it was February 2nd, we did Groundhog Day. Scotty and I did the first episode, the lost episode. You can only find it on podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Can't find it on YouTube. The lost episode of the Escape Pod was the first week of February. And we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I'm excited to share this with you. You know, I'd love to see if we could get Scotty to thaw out another clone.
Yeah, we'll have to thaw out another clone, because we lost another one.
Yeah, right. I would love to see him again. I'd love to have him do that. But, you know, if you're not part of our Discord channel, for those in the YouTube chat, Helenix has put a link up there. Otherwise, you could do Discord. I believe it's discord.me. I'm going to just double check. discord.me/theescapepod-cast. discord.me/theescapepod-cast. On our Discord channel, we have the past week, you and I have been playing a game called Runes of Magic.
Yes, we have.
And I broadcast it on just Discord. We're thinking about throwing it up on yours and my Twitch channels.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So people could join us there and see us doing that. But we're starting to branch out into a few different games. We're not leaving the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. That's absolutely not going to happen.
No.
But on the days that we're not doing the show, we would like to play with our community. And so that's what we're now trying to do. And so the schedule, let me pull it up here. The schedule that we've put out is on Mondays, starting next week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing Jackbox games. So it's a game that you can play from your phone while you're watching a live stream. You can join us. The only way you'll be able to play as a contestant will be to actually be in our Discord server, and I'll give the room code out on the Discord server. If you just watch on the our streams, then you can be in the audience of games that support audiences. But if you want to actually be in as a contestant in these games, you'll have to join our Discord server. Now, on Tuesdays, we're going to be doing Runes of Magic. We're going to be playing. Describe Runes of Magic for those. I mean, I could easily say it's WoW. It's a dollar store WoW.
It's a dollar store. Dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar Family version of World of Warcraft, without the dollar, because it's free. It's a 100% free game. It does have in-game purchases, so you can buy. You can buy potions of luck to increase your loot if you want to. You can buy the potions to increase your experience. You can buy permanent mounts if you don't want to have to go to a stable guy and hire a horse every couple of hours. So there are purchases that you can make in game, but those purchases aren't pay to win purchases. And you definitely don't need any purchases for the first 50 levels. But it's a classic MMO RPG. You've got your humans, you've got your dwarves, you've got your elves, and you can be a hero, a warrior, a champion, a mage, a wizard, a warlock, a priest, a druid, a hunter, a rogue, a scout. You can
be whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want, and you can put 3 classes. You can pick a character. You don't just have to be a priest. You can be a priest and a mage, and a warrior if you want. You can be a knight, a warlock, and a warden if you want. I mean, it depends on what race you pick. But it's 100% free. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very simple, and the more people you play with, the easier it is to do. And it's got everything in it. So you've got your quests, you've got your battles, you've got your farming, so that you can make potions and make armor, and it's got its own in-game economy. So you can buy and sell stuff for gold to make your life easier. You see a piece of armor in there that's ridiculously OP that someone's clearly bought with diamonds, but they've decided that they don't want it anymore. They sell it for gold. That's what makes the economy so good. The whales that buy stuff to make their equipment better with diamonds, which you have to pay cash for, they can sell it for the in-game currency of gold. You just got to save up the gold. It's a lot of fun.
Ryan wants to know if he can be a pony. He can't be a pony, but he can buy a pony.
You can't be a pony, but you can buy one. You could buy yourself a unicorn, mate. You could buy yourself a proper pony unicorn.
Yes. All right. He's starting to annoy himself, he says. All right. So Wednesdays, those are the nights I do trivia. So that's going to be Grab Bag with Neil.
Yep. I will do it on Twitch.
Thursdays when we are when we're not recording, we will do whatever. And then Fridays, of course, the Escape Pod cast. Saturdays, I work, so that'll be another grab bag with Neil. But Sundays, here's the big thing. Here's the fun thing. On Sundays, when it's not WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, sorry. Yeah, I like wrestling. So what? Fight me. When it's not Royal Rumble and it's not WrestleMania, on Sunday nights, we are going to be working with Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. And we are going to be doing streaming reactions. So we got the Clone Wars coming up the end of next month. But starting next week is Star Trek Picard. I'm excited for it. You're on the fence, right, Nev?
I'm on the fence based purely on the interview from the actor that plays Jean-Luc Picard. I like my science fiction and my politics separate, and he wants to dump a big bag of politics smack bang into the show, and it's like, no, I watch science fiction and fantasy to get away from the real world of politics. Don't put it in.
The original Star Wars was politics.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Oh, for goodness sake! It wasn't current event politics dropped in. It wasn't
back then. It was.
You know, it's like Star Trek. Star Trek: The Next Generation was bringing up social justice issues, but not in a preachy way. It would bring up really good, really important social justice issues in episodes without preaching it or tying it directly to something that was happening at the time in the world. It was something that had happened or could happen. It was always done in an abstract way.
Okay, so,
as opposed to what
I doubt
happens.
that they're going to have. Okay, Nev, I doubt that they're going to have an alien race or a guy from an alien race named Tronald Dump. Okay, I doubt that they're going to do real world issues like that. Come on.
If I do a dump, it would be perfect. Perfect. I take perfect dumps. The best. Only the best dumps from me.
Okay. All right. So now we have to edit that out. You said you're going to send me this damn stuff, and now we got to edit that out.
Really? We have to edit that out? You can mock a president of the United States, can't you?
No.
Of course you can mock any.
The act. It's the act of defecation. You could call it defecation, but you can't call it what you called it.
Really?
In BPG-13. I know. But this is live. So, Nev, fuck it. All right. I wish I had some vodka. For some reason, Nev brings out the drinking urges.
Well, here you go. Bisweeze. Drink.
There you go.
Every time I
Take
say
a shot.
Bisweeze, you got to drink. So drink. Okay. I think we're getting close to that time, aren't we, Paul?
We are. I'm getting a little loopy from the fever, and once again, for those that want to want to listen to NyQuil Paul while he's editing the stuff that Nev sends him, patreon.com/theescapepod, and I'd love to see you guys in the after show. With that being said, do you have the final segment queued up on OBS?
The final segment. You mean the end?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
the end is queued
make
up.
Sure you still have that.
Yeah,
okay.
that's queued up.
All right. With that being said, guys, we are going to get out of here. Feel free to jump in our Discord. As I said, we are going to grow that Discord to be someplace where we will always have something for you guys to do every single night. As far as we're concerned, we'd love to be able to have that happen, and we'd love to interact with you guys. So, with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Be nice to each other, damn it. With that, Nev, push the button.
You got it, mate. Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even
friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.